Hey guys, today we will solve equations by factoring. So let's say that I have x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. Well, I'm going to factor my trinomial into two binomials, okay? So I need to factor this x squared. So that means I need to put an x in each parenthesis. Now I need to find what two numbers multiply to be positive 6 and add together to be positive 5. Well, notice I have two plus signs here. So that means there will be two plus signs here. Now, two numbers that multiply together to be 6, but add together to be 5. So if I take the factors of 6, I have 1 and 6, 2 and 3, 3 and 2, 6 and 1. So if I add those together, you'll notice that when I get to 2 and 3, that's 5. So 2 and 3. So 2 and 3 are the factors that work. So now, because of the zero product property, I will set them both equal to 0. So I have x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0. So now I will subtract 2 on both sides here. These cancel. I'm left with x equals negative 2. Now I will subtract 3 on both sides. So x equals negative 3. So my answers are negative 2 and negative 3. And that is how you solve equations by factoring. So here I have x squared minus 11x plus 30 equals 0. And I need to solve this by factoring. So I will make my sets of parentheses set equal to 0. And now I need to find two numbers that multiply together to make positive 30, but add together to make negative 11. Well, if you know anything about numbers that multiply to be a positive, but add together to be a negative, that means that when I factor 30, both of the numbers need to be negative. So first I will find my factors of 30. So that is 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6, 6 and 5, 10 and 3, 15 and 2, 30 and 1. Well, like I said, the numbers both have to be negative, so I'll make them both negative. Make a little more room here. Well, negative 1 minus 30 is negative 31. Negative 2 minus 15 is negative 17. We're getting closer. Negative 3 minus 10 is negative 13. Negative 5 minus 6 is negative 11. And negative 11 is what we're looking for. So I'll put my x in each parenthesis. And remember, we have a minus 5 and a minus 6. So I set each of those parentheses equal to 0. I'll add 5 to both sides of this first one. My 5's cancel here, and I'm left with x equals 5. Now I'll add 6 to this one. My 6's cancel, and I'm left with x equals 6. So my answers are x equals 5 and x equals 6. So here I have x squared minus 2x minus 35 equals 0. So I will factor this to solve it and set it equal to 0. I have my x squared here, so I'll put an x in each parenthesis. Now, when this is negative, that means that one will be positive, the other will be negative, because a positive times a negative equals a negative. So now I need to find my factors of negative 35. That would be negative 1 and 35, negative 5 and 7, negative 7 and 5, negative 35 and 1. So what we're looking for here is a negative 2. which combination here, when I add them, will produce a negative 2? Well, negative 1 plus 35 is 34. Negative 5 plus 7 is positive 2. Well, we're looking for a negative 2, so that's not it. But negative 7 plus 5 will equal a negative 2. And that's what we're looking for, negative 2. So that means that our x minus will be 7 and our x plus will be 5. So I set each of those binomials equal to 0. So I will subtract 5, those 5's cancel, and x is negative 5. On the second one, I will add 7 and add 7. Those 7's cancel, and x equals 7. So my answers are x equals negative 5 and x equals 7. So here I have x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. So I need to find what two numbers multiply to be negative 10, but add together to be positive 3. So I'll make my parentheses. I will set it equal to 0. And remember, when this sign is minus, that means that there is one plus and one minus for our signs in the parentheses. Since this is x squared, I will put an x in each parenthesis. Now I need to find the factors of negative 10 that add up to be positive 3. Well, we'll start with negative 1 times positive 10, negative 2 times positive 5, negative 5 times positive 2, and negative 10 times positive 1. So when I add them up, let's see which one will produce a positive 3. Well, negative 1 plus 10 is 9. Negative 2 plus 5 is positive 3. That's what we're looking for. So I have my minus 2 and my plus 5. So minus 2 and plus 5 will go in the parentheses. And now I have x plus 5 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0. All right, so now on the first one, I will subtract 5 on both sides. So now I have x equals, those cancel, and I have x equals negative 5. On the second one, I will add 2 on both sides. So those 2's cancel, and I'm left with x equals 2. So my answers are x equals negative 5 and x equals 2.